Hello, everybody. Hello. I've made the comments bigger today. Keep playing with stuff. Anyway, welcome, everybody. All right. As always, takes a little bit of tech prowess. Let me launch Instagram. All right. Alrighty, Instagram is live. Now let me go to Discord. Not Discord, Substack. There we go. Alrighty, I've got Substack. Now I can see Substack. Excellent. There's one person already on Substack, I do believe. Good. All right. Oh, there we go. Substack. All right. I think that works. Hang on a sec. Oop, it's not going to make any bigger, is it? Okay. All right. Substack, I can see you. Discord, I can see you. All right. Pretty good here. All right. Good. Hang on. I'm making Discord a little smaller, maybe. Yes, I can make Discord a little smaller. There we go. Okay, good. And then I think we're doing well. All right. Welcome, everybody. All right. I'm ready to start TikTok, and then we're good. All right. This is good today. I hate this tech aspect of doing the show because I've got to do 10,000 different things to start the show. And it always confuses me. Not confuses me, but I always worried I would hit the wrong thing. All right. TikTok is joining us shortly. Woo! There we go. Hello, TikTok. Hey, Ash. All right. This is good now. I think we're good. I think everything's working. We still don't have sunlight, which is good. So my curtains could still be open for another couple weeks. Everything's good. Substack is good. Discord's good. TikTok is good. YouTube's good. We are pretty good here. Only got one person on Substack. That's okay. We'll get more. Anyway, welcome, everybody. John Aravosis here. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. The State of the Union stuff, it's funny. Initially, I didn't have much on the State of the Union other than boring. And then I started researching more, and now I've got a ton of stuff to talk about from the State of the Union. Hey, Michael Daly in Ireland. But anyway, so welcome, guys. I'm John Aravosis. This is my daily show. We talk about the latest news from around the world, American-centered, because I'm American and centered in America. So, we do kind of focus on that, but that's okay. Thank you, Yoo-hoo, for the gift. Yeah, so before I get going, as always, oh, hey, Zia. Hey, Terry. I very much appreciate your guys' gifts. TikTok, YouTube, etc. If you can do the gifts, that's great. Supporting my work, very appreciative of that. I try to do a shout out for the, thank you, Ernie, for the, I don't mean the bigger gifts. What I mean is, like on TikTok, there's a lot of little things like the hearts. If I do a shout out for every heart, literally my whole show would be shouting out to the heart. So I kind of do the bigger gifts, so to speak. No offense to people, but you know what I mean. I can't sort of do everything, but I do try to do shout outs to the gifts as I'm going along. Otherwise, there you go. Super fans are very welcome. If you want to subscribe or wherever the button is on here to become a monthly subscriber, that'd be great too. I do a special show Saturday mornings for all of the super fans as well. All right, let's get rolling. So we're here to talk about the State of the Union and all the other news today. There was a good amount of news. State of the Union was last night. That is a constitutionally mandated address that the president does to Congress every year. It doesn't have to be a speech, but he does have to report on the state of our union to Congress every year. Typically it's done as a speech, but it doesn't have to be. Jimmy Carter, his first year, Jimmy Carter did a written report, which I did not know. I read that last night and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But we're familiar with it being a speech. It's a really boring speech. Here's the thing. It's really boring because the State of the Union is second to the budget in its irrelevance, because every year the president has to produce a budget. It's completely irrelevant what budget the president produces because Congress is going to do what it wants anyway. Yeah, it'll do it in conjunction with the administration, but the written budget's kind of stupid. And the State of the Union is the same thing. It's all of these, I want to do this year. Nobody cares. And in Trump's case, of course, he lied about everything he did in the last year. We're going to be talking about that too here. It was long. It was 2 hours long. It was the longest State of the Union ever. It does not need to be 2 hours long. I'm surprised Trump didn't fall asleep on himself. They're not 2 hours long. Trump has the record for the longest State of the Union before. It was 1 hour and 39 minutes. Now he went 2 hours. Here's the problem. The only reason why I would say it was good for Trump to go 2 hours was it helps him beat the he's an old man argument, right? He did the longest State of the Union ever. He was there for 2 hours, high energy. He's not old. 79, going to be 80. But, hand looks like Frankenstein. But that's the only positive. The negative is it's boring as hell to have somebody talk for 2 freaking hours. You can't do that. Most normal Americans are not watching that long, so I'm not sure what benefit it gets you. Yeah, it's letting him hear himself talk. So that doesn't make total sense to me. So I'm going to yawn at you now. He devoted around half of the speech to talking about the economy, which is not a bad idea because, thank you for the bouquet there, by the way. Who was that, Carrie? Not a bad idea because the economy is the number one issue the voters care about. And our economy is Voters certainly don't feel like the economy is doing well. The numbers are okay. Economic growth is slow. It's slower than it's been in years. Unemployment is it's okay. Unemployment's doing well. It's not, but it's been doing well for years. But there's concerns about unemployment growing. There's concerns about inflation growing. And Trump's speech, thank you, Jen, for that. Trump's speech was one big everything's great in the economy. Basically, you don't realize how bad it is. Now, one thing, and I kid you not, they started this a week ago, which was really stupid. About a week ago, the White House started with this was Joe Biden's economy, and he's to blame with it of all of your concerns about the economy. A couple problems there. One, we're a year into this already. Nobody thinks this is Joe Biden's economy. The polls have all shown voters think this is Trump's economy. Second of all, Trump himself a month ago we talked about it on the show. Trump was asked by a reporter, so we're a year into your administration. When does this start being your economy and stop being Joe Biden's? And Trump goes, it's already my economy and it's doing great. And I guarantee you, his people probably crapped their pants. Thank you, Carmelina. Thank you, Bowie, for the gifts. His people in the White House probably crapped themselves when he said that, because I heard it and went, uh-oh. People are worried about the economy. They don't think the economy is doing well, and you just took credit for the economy. Now, Trump took credit for the economy because Trump thinks the economy is doing great, but people don't. So anyway, Trump has been taking credit for the economy. The polls show the voters hold him responsible for the economy. The last year, the White House has not been blaming Joe Biden. Now, I'm surprised because Trump is happy to blame other people for all of his sins, right? He always does. The fact that Trump didn't spend the last year blaming Biden for the economy struck me as really stupid. Now, it would have been wrong of him to blame Biden, but it would have been politically smart of him to blame Biden. He didn't. Well, now they realize they're in trouble. The voters are pissed. The election's coming up in the fall for Congress. Voters are just pissed at him about the economic stuff, disaster for Republicans. So Trump is now saying, oh yeah, this economy, he said we inherited a disaster. Growth was terrible. Growth was actually higher than it is right now. Last year, economic growth, the economy grew 2.2%, the lowest of any year of the last several years. Every single year of Joe Biden's presidency, the economy grew more than it did under Donald Trump last year. But he claimed, the economy grew terribly under Biden. Now it's great. It's the opposite. And again, whether people know the numbers, they know the feeling of it, right? They know this is not going well. No, inflation. He goes, inflation was incredibly high under Biden. Now it's normal. No, inflation was 3% under Biden when Trump took over the country, again, the second time. And it's been 3% up until last month when it dropped to 2.4%. So inflation finally dropped a little bit last month for the first time in a year. But he inherited inflation pretty much the same rate it is right now. He lied. Again, the bigger issue here, again, he's lying about everything, but the bigger issue, people think the economy isn't doing well. You can't tell them, yes, it is. This was Biden's problem. And I think under Biden, the economy was doing better than people thought. Too bad. When people, and I've often told, I've done a lot of consulting in the past, and I've told people this, whether they're clients or people we were launching campaigns against or something. And I said, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong if the public perception is that you are wrong. Right? If the public perception is that you did a bad thing, you've got to fix that. You can't simply say it's not fair. it's not fair doesn't get you anywhere. You know what I mean? You've got to fix it somehow, and Trump is trying to fix it by claiming everything's great. Well, that doesn't fly. CNN's Daniel Dale. I'm going to quote a lot of stuff from Daniel Dale here tonight. He's their fact check guy, Canadian, I think, good guy. Dale said, early State of the Union summary from a fact check perspective. Less lying than in a totally off-script Trump speech, but still a lot of lying. The economy was the single subject with the largest number of false and misleading claims. So Trump talked about the economy for half the speech and lied about a lot of it. This was interesting. According to real-time reactions from a panel of viewers convened by the Democratic firm Navigator Research. If you ever watched West Wing, they got people together and did the West Wing thing. And when they watch the speech and have regular people like, on a dial going up and down based on how they feel about different things that Trump is saying during the speech. So they could gauge real-time reactions to what people think as Trump is saying it. Well, thank you, Annie. The real-time reactions. Support for Trump fell when he said Americans are winning, and when he said prices were dropping, and when he mentioned tariffs. They're pissed about tariffs. They don't believe prices are dropping, and they don't think we're winning. The majority of the country thinks we're on the wrong path. I will say this for Trump. It's interesting. I mean, I'm not defending him at all, but I'm saying, like, to understand where he's coming from. He's used to lying. Trump is a carnival barkster, okay? He's a con man. They lie, and they're very good at lying and convincing you that, the moon is made of cheese or whatever they're convincing you of today. He's used to lying and getting away with it. He's not getting away with it this time. I mean, during his first presidency, he went down in popularity and lost for that reason. This time, his popularity dropped even more quickly, I think because he went more extreme more quickly. He tried to do so many horrific things his first year, and then murdering American citizens on the street, ignoring the economy as we're having economic problems, that voters went, and now, it's like his 10th war that he's threatening, or 12th war right now with Iran that he's threatening, that voters have said, you know what, we've had enough. And I think from his perspective, he's so used to his history of lying and a lie was sufficient. He never had to do anything, right? He just had to lie. Think about his business. A lot of Trump's business model is putting his name on stuff. It's not, he pretends like he's the great businessman, but he hasn't built anything. He puts his name on stuff. Like, it's like life as a Ponzi scheme kind of concept. You know what I mean? And I think this is the same thing. He's used to putting his name on it and saying, but I am Donald Trump and I tell you the economy is doing well. And people go, yes, master, except they don't in this case because they know he's lying. Well, they don't even know he's lying. They know their day-to-day economic problems are not getting better. All right, lots of stuff. I'm going to go through a number of them that Trump talked about. Trump claimed $18 trillion is being invested from abroad in America. Here, this one's actually funny. He's exaggerating, of course, but he said $18 trillion has been invested from foreign countries and foreign companies. The White House website says $9.7 trillion. I mean, he's lying, but he's lying about his own lie. Like, 9.7 trillion is ridiculous. They did not get 9.7 trillion in investment, but he's claiming 18. He's claiming 18. So, like, what's the issue, right? Trump claimed gas prices are $1.99 in many places. CNN looked into it. Out of the 150,000 stations tracked by this gas buddy gas expert, tracks 150,000 stations, 8 had gasoline prices at $1.99 or below. Trump's go, gas is down to $1.99 in many places. 8. 8 gas stations. It's down to $1.99. Trump claimed he inherited record inflation. I already said that. Trump claimed that he passed legislation guaranteeing that you will no longer pay taxes on Social Security. Wrong. What the legislation did was it gave some people 65 and older, but not all. Some people 65 and older can deduct $6,000 from their Social Security for their tax purposes. So it gives you a $6,000 deduction. It decreases your income $6,000 that you pay taxes on. So it might save you, $1,500 or whatever, which isn't bad, but not everybody. And it does not It does not remove all taxes on Social Security. He lied. Iran. Oh my God. Iran, he used the obliterated word. Okay, we've been talking about this. Trump is about to go to war with Iran, claiming they're building nuclear weapons again. Oh my God. And we were saying, well, how did that happen? Because 7 months ago, June or July of last year, June, Trump claimed, oh, we have obliterated Iran's nuclear program. They're not coming back. They're not going to be able to get the nuclear fuel. It's buried under the ground, and we obliterated the nuclear program, and they'll never be able to build again. Because remember, Trump's Defense Intelligence Agency said, we probably set Iran back several months, but that's it. Well, guess what? Remember, and Trump got livid, and Trump said they're lying. Those Defense Intelligence guys must have gotten fired, right? He said they're lying, our Defense Intelligence Agency, who said only a couple months setback for Iran. Well, guess what? A couple months passed. Trump now claims Iran's back to being almost ready to build a nuclear weapon again. I mean, he lied. We knew he lied, but he said it again last night. Listen to this. The Iran, quote, that's why in a breakthrough operation last June, the United States military obliterated Iran's nuclear weapons program with an attack on Iranian soil known as Operation Midnight Hammer. For decades, it had been the policy of the United States never to allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon. He claimed that 7 months ago, we obliterated Iran's nuclear program. Then why are we, short-term obliteration. Then why are we preparing to go to war with Iran? He's got like half our military in the Middle East getting ready to blow up Iran. Last night he said we obliterated the nuclear program. You didn't obliterate their nuclear program if 7 months later they're about to build a nuke. Because that's what they're claiming. That's what they're claiming, right? We're a week away from them getting the nuclear material they need. They're claiming that bullshit again. They lied. Or he's lying now, or he's lying both times. Let me see, what else did he do? He attacked Somalians again. He hates Somalians. Now, Somalians are black. They're Africans. They're very dark Africans, and, Trump. He also doesn't like Somalians because there's a female member of Congress who is originally from Somalia, Ilhan Omar, and she is a super duper, she's smart, she's spunky. She's not my cup of tea because she's way too far left. I don't like her, but that's not the point. My point is she's very spunky and loud and fights hard. Trump hates her, and she's a big critic of Trump. He hates her. So he has extrapolated and now routinely says racist things about Somalians, about Somalis across the board. Just routinely. So now he keeps saying that Somali Americans are all thieves and crooks and this kind of crap. Were they the ones that were eating cats and dogs, by the way? Were they eating cats and dogs? Was it Somalis as well? I think it was, wasn't it? Weren't they the ones? The Somali immigrants that he was claiming were cats and dog eaters? Who were the cat and dog eaters? Haitians? Was it Haitians or Somalis? Haitians? It was the Haitians. Okay. Thank you, visionary. It was the Haitians that it's so hard to keep track of the prejudice, the racism. Yes. So during the campaign, he claimed that Haitian immigrants were kidnapping cats and dogs, and they even claimed ducks, which ended up being a lie too. They're stealing swans and eating them. Total lie. Total lie. And now he's claiming that Somali Americans are fraudsters who don't love America. Yeah, somebody doesn't love America, that's for sure. What else we got here? He claimed he lifted 2.4 million Americans off of food stamps. This one's great. Food stamps are food benefits we give to poor people, right? Money to help them buy food. He claims, I lifted 2.4 million Americans off of food stamps so they no longer need them. No, he cut food stamps to 2.4 million Americans. He didn't lift them. He didn't help their economic situation so they didn't need food stamps anymore. He literally cut funding. So they had to cut food stamps for 2.4 million Americans. And Trump took credit for it and said, they're now doing better. They no longer need food stamps. No, they still need food. They're still hungry. You just cut their foods. He brought family members out who have been killed. He brought people out whose family members were killed by immigrants, of course, because this is Trump. In the Democratic response, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger took Trump's emphasis head-on, arguing his tariffs and funding cuts for rural hospitals and Medicaid were making lives less affordable, and that the administration's immigration enforcement efforts were making communities less safe. A lot of Democrats skipped the speech. Around 56 or so Democrats skipped the speech. Representative Al Green, this was pretty good. Al Green held up a sign. This was actually wild. Al Green is a black congressman from, where is Al Green from? Anybody remind me here? But he's a black congressman, and he held up a sign and then got like taken away. Texas? Oh, he's Texas. Okay. Taken away because as Trump was walking by, this was his sign. I'm going to show you guys. He's referring to the Obama video that Trump shared showing Michelle and Barack Obama as apes, which is a horrific racist trope. Black people aren't apes. I mean, give the guy credit, right? Another picture I wanted to show you. This was Trump's hand last night during the speech. I'm telling you, it boggles my mind that no one is talking about this. At this point, he has some permanent thing on his hand, and they're barely doing a job of hiding it. I mean, if this were Joe Biden, we know for a fact how they would talk if it was Joe Biden, because they did talk about Joe Biden's health nonstop. Non-freaking stop, they talked about Joe Biden's health. And honestly, I think it was a valid point because Biden was getting goofy. I mean, Biden was too old. Look, I like Biden, whatever. He was getting too old. He kind of screwed us on that one. But, I will show you one more time. This is from Getty. This is from Getty. That's the picture of Trump's hand. That's the makeup covering it. Also, some people were saying, too, can he not do a better job with the makeup? Like, why? I mean, it's like he's doing it himself. Like, look, I mean, like, I'm a guy. I don't really use makeup. Even I've been in theater. Even I would be like, that's too dark. That's like makeup for somebody with a tan, right? Look at that. What does he think? He's Somali? I mean, that's tan makeup. That's makeup if you've got a tan. Why would he get, or Chinese? I don't even know what skin tone he's going for. No, I mean, it's not rocket science to get, he must do it himself. He must do it himself. But they use putty knife to smear it. I mean, they did something. Yeah, it's yellow. Man. All right, what else we got here? This was good too. He said his administration would give all Americans access to retirement savings accounts akin to what federal employees receive. One of the reporters goes, "Oh my God, I totally forgot about this. Joe Biden already did this." In his last year of the presidency, or 2 years before, Biden had gotten past this program to basically give, some Americans can get the same retirement program that people in the federal government get. But the thing is, it's a program that was already passed by Biden. It's like, okay, whatever. This one should concern you. He said VP J.D. Vance would lead a war on fraud, which will recover enough money to balance the budget. The budget deficit for 2025 was $1.78 trillion. Huge amount. No one in their right mind thinks that there's 1.78 trillion with a T dollars worth of fraud. We can't even quantify how much that is. Okay. Here's the problem. He's lying, but here's the problem. Trump, and this is why I said the lies are always the problem here with Trump, because they spell greater problems. He's lying and claiming, don't worry about the massive deficit he's built up, $1.7 trillion a year, because he's going to wipe out the deficit with J.D. Vance going after fraud. That means Donald Trump doesn't have to cut spending. Donald Trump doesn't have to worry about spending all the money he's spending because J.D. Vance will balance the budget by going after fraud. So Donald Trump doesn't need to balance the budget, either by raising taxes or by cutting spending, right? I mean, that's why I said, like, whenever he makes these lies, there are actual implications to these lies, because the lies mean hey, Stefan, I didn't see you over there on Substack. Stefan's one of our regulars elsewhere, but you know what I mean? Like, he makes these, it's like when he lies about inflation and says, inflation's done, we've cured it. It means he's not going to focus on it because he thinks it's done, right? If it's done, if inflation's fixed, he doesn't need to worry about inflation. He's not going to work on it. If the deficit, thank you, Ashley, if the deficit is fixed, J.D. Vance is going to fix it by going after fraud, then Trump himself doesn't have to go after fraud. Actually, not fraud. Trump himself doesn't have to worry about the deficit. His budgets don't need to balance because, right? I mean, he's just going to keep spending like a drunken sailor because he's lying. That's what I mean. His lies have real world consequences. COVID, all that kind of crazy stuff. I mean, all the healthcare stuff, measles. Oh my God, there's another measles story I'm going to talk about today. Like, if they lie about healthcare, it has implications for all of us. Anything? Oh, and then, oh God, and then he gave away all these awards like a drunken sailor. He gave some medal to the goalie for the Olympic team, and I mean, I'm not gonna, that's nice, but was it like the Presidential Medal of Freedom or something? Wait, did he give him? Oh my God, he gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to the goalie on the hockey team. I mean, again, I love our Olympic athletes. I love our hockey team. I'm glad they won. Do they deserve the Presidential Medal of Freedom for getting a gold medal? No. Because here's the question. Did the girls' team get the Presidential Medal of Freedom? Because they won the gold as well. They didn't. He didn't give, according to the list I've got here, did he give any medals to the women's team last night? Did I say girls? I might have said girls. Sorry, I'm from Chicago. We say the word girl. I'm not sure if I did. Right? Did he say anything about the women's team? I mean, they declined. That's not the point, right? If you're going to give the Presidential Medal of Freedom, he's a hockey player. I mean, I'm glad they won, but and you didn't give the whole team the medal. You gave it to the goalie. Everything about this is goofy. And then he gave lots of other medals too. The pilot involved in the raid to capture Maduro in Venezuela. I'm like, again, good for that pilot, a medal? Okay, whatever. I mean, I have less of a problem with the other ones. I think the goalie thing is weird. The whole team, first, then you give the whole team a medal, but also, guess what? The whole team already got a medal. They got a gold medal at the Olympics. I think they're doing fine. But the Presidential Medal of Freedom, I think it diminishes the Presidential Medal of Freedom when you're giving it to the goalie of the hockey team did not go and save a grandma tied onto some train tracks. He won a hockey game. That's great. It's a hockey game. It's an Olympic hockey game. He's damn good at his job, but he won a hockey game. I mean, and he got a medal for it, but, well, Rush Limbaugh, same thing. I mean, right? I mean, anyway. No, the whole thing, and again, it didn't hit me until I was talking right now. Why did he give the medal to the boys and he didn't give a medal to the girls? The women's hockey team won a gold medal as well. And he blew them off. Remember? He said, well, I guess I'm going to have to invite the women too because I invited you, and everyone laughed. Ha ha. Except they didn't get a medal. The boys did. From Donald Trump. He's horrible. Epstein. The Epstein story. I think this Epstein story is going to hurt Trump. What I mean is, it's been hurting him in the sense that a lot of things don't hurt him, but the Epstein thing, well, a lot of things hurt him, but still. But this Epstein thing, half the speech was an award show, exactly. Elon's war on fraud. Oh, that's a good point. Marlene raised a question on Facebook. Wasn't Elon Musk in charge of going after fraud and stuff? Weren't they using AI to look into it or some crap like that? Yeah, well, Oh, well. Oh, thank you, Aileen. Oh, is my thing not even on? Is that the wig? Thank you, because the thing's, how did it turn off? Oh, the thing turned off. Is it on? It's not on my screen. They get a wig for certain gifts. Let me put the wig gift on. Is the thing on the screen or not? Oh, thank you. I like when these things interact with the other outfits. It is there? Okay, because I don't see it on my end. You guys can see it? Okay. Was there a goat as well? Did I miss a goat? Thank you, Elaine. Oh, goat. You said wig. You said wig. Is it a wig or a goat? Did Ashley say wig? Did Ashley say wig? Somebody said wig. Was it Ashley? Did somebody do a galaxy or no? Now you're confusing me, people. Thank you, hat and mustache. There was a galaxy. Oh, there was a galaxy. Okay, there was a galaxy. Yeah, but was there a galaxy, Ash? I thought it was you. See, it was Ashley who said it. That's why I was trusting it. You got a bonus wig. You guys are saying there was a galaxy. Okay, well, I will trust you on the galaxy. Galaxy is goat? All right, we'll do a galaxy. Hello. Oh, wait, which way? Actually, this way could look like him too. I'm trying to, it's a Trump, oh, with the hat. Thank you, Big Hawk. This is our Trump wig. It's supposed to go this, oh, actually, that would be Boris Johnson. We've got many looks here. This would be my Boris Johnson look. And then for Donald Trump, it's this for Donald Trump. Oh my God, every time I put this on, it itches my face. So what goat are we doing? What goat are we doing? I always feel like it's a Irma Bombeck wig, really. We did get a galaxy, okay. What goat are we doing? Oh my God, I hate this wig. I've got to find me a hairbrush for wigs because this thing is really annoying as hell. Yeah, it was supposed to take care of the fraud. That's what I thought. Oh, thank you for that. I think it looks like a big tooth, that gift. Thank you, Diana. Does supposed to take care of it. And what are we saying here really quick? Just watch Dr. Oz and... Oh, yeah, they're withholding Medicaid funds, too. Oh, yeah, that's another thing he's doing. Trump's withholding Medicaid funds now from Minnesota to try to punish poor people again because that's what they do. Anyway, all right, thank you for that. I did not see if the person who did the goat wanted a goat or not. Let me know if they wanted a goat and which goat. Halloween, was it? Oh, it's Halloween. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Aileen. Still a good sound for the State of the Union. The screaming Halloween. Like, ah! Thank you for that, guys. Thank you, Aileen. And thank you, person who got the oh, hello. I don't think I've seen that one before. Thank you, V. Was it V. Marie? I think was the name there. Yes, V. Marie. Thank you for that. That's very cool. All right, what do we got? Epstein. Oh, yeah, the Epstein stuff. So the Epstein stuff is getting really interesting. This is the third day. The Cuban story, I don't think is relevant. I don't think there's news there yet. Thank you, Jay. There's a boat, a U.S. okay. Well, let me phrase it. Thank you, V. Marie, again. An allegedly private civilian boat, American, with 10 people on board or something, was going to Cuba, allegedly was trying to sneak in to help people escape the island because Cuba is a communist dictatorship. You're not allowed to leave. And was trying to help people escape the island, allegedly. The Cubans saw the boat coming in Cuban waters, told it to stop or whatever. The boat opened fire on the Cubans. The Cubans fired back. Allegedly, several people were killed. Several people were injured. I think the Cubans have the injured people now. When I heard about this, I immediately wondered if this was a military CIA operation or something, right? That this wasn't just Miamians deciding they wanted to go and fly and park their boat into Cuba, into Havana, right? It kind of makes me wonder. We don't know more than that. The U.S. is claiming, oh, they were private citizens. Thank you for the fur baby for the meerkat, I should say. So I don't know. I'm a little suspicious. Who knows, right? Who knows? Epstein. So this Epstein story is important, and it isn't going away because everyone in the media is now like doing their own take on it. Broken by Roger Sellenberger, a journalist. Actually, you know what? Roger is somebody to get on. Oh my God. Remind me. Roger is someone to get on the show. I know Roger. He's great. Roger Sellenberger. Roger is amazing. He is the one who broke the latest Epstein story. Roger's great. Yeah, good. I don't know how he is on camera, but Roger's really good journalist. Very good. Was at the Daily Beast before. Now is on his own on Substack. So Roger breaks a story And National Public Radio then investigates, confirms it. Now we got the New York Times investigating and confirming it. It's confirmed, right? It's done. That basically a woman who is not Katie Jacobs, it appears. I think the name was Jacobs. Is the last name Jacobs? People kept saying on TikTok, which I don't, I appreciate that they're helping my hits on TikTok, but I think they're wrong, that this is a story that we already knew about a woman named Katie Jacobs. I don't think that's true. I think this is a different, or Katie Johnson, thank you guys. This is a different story. Katie Johnson was early 1990s. This woman is early 1980s. Katie Johnson was alleging that Trump violated her. Let's put it that way. That is not this story. This story is that Epstein did that repeatedly and that Trump grabbed her by the head and pushed her down. I'm not going to say more because this is TikTok, but you get it, down, and that she bit him. You would have remembered if Katie Johnson's story was that she bit somebody. I don't think it's the same story. Yeah, and it's Katie Johnson's 10 years later. It doesn't really matter, but it does kind of matter because if it's a second story, that's really interesting. If it's the woman was age 13 to 15. Katie Johnson, I believe, was 13. Again, making the revelations. Okay, so these are accusations, not proven. I'm going to stick with this one. The reason this one became news, and then she bit Trump, and then Trump hit her and threw her, pushed her away. The reason this is news is because Roger was able to confirm, and then NPR confirmed, and the New York Times confirmed, that there's at least 50 pages of documents that the Trump people are hiding and are not making public regarding this woman's accusations about Trump. Under the law, every single thing has to be made public. They are allowed to hide things that divulge who the victims are, and that's it. They are not allowed to hide things that are embarrassing to anybody, meaning embarrassing to you or me. My name's in there because I was on the boat. I wasn't, but right, that would be embarrassing. Too bad, right? Everything has to be public except the women or men's, if there were any men, the names of the victims. That's it. That's it. Everything had to be public. They didn't make it public at all. There's 50 pages that are not public. That's a problem. That's literally a violation of the law. But it then becomes a bigger question of why. To some degree, they made a mistake because they released, this woman did 4 interviews with the FBI, 2019. She does 4 interviews with the FBI. The FBI, Roger said, and actually we do need to get Roger because Roger broke the story. The FBI, Roger said, wanted to move ahead with the investigation after they interviewed her. In other words, they found her interview credible enough that they wanted to run with it, and she refused. She said no. She was too afraid of Trump or whatever. One of her interviews, they made the mistake of making public anyway. It removed any mention of Trump. Was not mentioned. Either it was removed or Trump was not mentioned in the interview. It was either redacted or it wasn't mentioned. So the one that she doesn't mention Trump was there. The other 3 are missing. 50 additional pages are missing. New York Times is now on it, which is great. The White House gets asked about it. Let me get my glasses here. Hang on a second. It is unclear why the materials are missing, says the New York Times. The Justice Department said in a statement to the Times on Monday that the only materials that have been withheld were either privileged or duplicates. In a new statement on Tuesday, the department noted that documents could have been withheld because of an ongoing federal investigation. Wait, so the Justice Department wants us to think that maybe Pam Bondi is investigating Donald Trump for sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl. I don't think that's happening. I'm pretty sure that's not happening. And maybe? No, you don't get to say maybe. You don't get to say maybe. You explain, you say, we do not release documents dealing with ongoing investigations, period. And then, okay, even though you're lying in this case, but at least you've given an answer. But maybe, right? So they're not telling us why they're withholding the information. I don't know. That's a good. Yeah, what else we got here? Under the law, here's New York Times. Under the law, the Justice Department can redact material that could be used to identify Mr. Epstein's victims, depicted violence. Oh, any details that depict violence or child sexual abuse have to be deleted, or would hurt a continuing federal investigation. But the law expressly prohibited federal officials from withholding or redacting materials on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity to public figures. Yeah. This is interesting. Representative Robert Garcia of California, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, said that when he reviewed unredacted versions of the files, right? They're now saying, well, we had to redact some information to protect people or whatever. So he went and looked at the unredacted versions, the versions that don't have things crossed out, at the Justice Department on Monday. Interview summaries related to the woman's claim were also missing from that trove. So he went and got to see the stuff that's, not blacked out. They still didn't include her interviews. I mean, as a member of Congress, he gets to read the stuff that implicates victims or whatever. He's allowed to as a member of Congress. They still didn't give him the papers. They weren't there. So now you go, okay, it's not an ongoing investigation because he could look at those papers. He just can't talk about it. It's not protecting a victim because he could look at those papers. He just couldn't talk about it. They literally, the papers are missing. The allegations are missing. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is from Wired Magazine. Listen to this from Wired Magazine. The Trump White House is running a fake Twitter account to magnify Trump's message. Johnny MAGA, the account is called, Johnny MAGA, appears to actually be a White House staffer named Garrett Wade, who works for the Trump administration as a rapid response manager, helping to run the very same White House account his anonymous MAGA account amplifies. So he helps run the White House Twitter account. Thank you, V. Marie. You're being very sweet today. He's helping run the White House Twitter account, and then runs a private account pretending he's a big MAGA supporter that amplifies, with 300,000 followers, that amplifies the White House. But he's actually a White House employee. A phone number associated with Wade is linked to Johnny MAGA, according to a Wired review of publicly available records, and the connection was confirmed by a source close to the White House. Wade is married to Allison Schuster, a White House press assistant who also follows the Johnny MAGA account. Thank you, Ashley. And that was Ashley, yep. Listen to this. Hours after an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis, the Trump administration was already working to shape the narrative. Official White House accounts flooded social media with clips of burning flags and clashes between locals and federal officials, casting the protesters and not the killing as the story. Among the accounts amplifying that message was Johnny MAGA. 300,000 followers. Quote, "They're burning the American flag right now in Minneapolis," he wrote. Sharing a clip from the White House's official rapid response feed, and they really expect you to believe that ICE shot an innocent civilian? He's a White House employee. The point here, guys, is Trump's White House is running fake accounts on Twitter pretending they're MAGA supporters, and it's actually Trump's people. Right? John Barron comes to mind. This was a small story out of Minnesota that is a big deal. Hopefully Democrats will have fun with this. Fun, I say fun. It's not funny at all. A federal judge in Minnesota dismissed gun charges after U.S. attorneys couldn't get the case to trial on time. This guy with a rap sheet that is scary as hell. I'll just read the story. A federal judge in Minneapolis has dismissed a gun case against an accused gang member because the prosecution was not able to get ready for trial in town. The prosecution are Department of Justice officials working for Donald Trump, okay? This is the U.S. Attorney's Office led by Daniel Rosen, where a mass exodus of attorneys this year has left the office in shambles. They all quit because of Donald Trump. This is the office of the Justice Department that's in shambles because Donald Trump politicized it. to go after Democrats in Minnesota, and the people working in the office said, I quit. I'm not going to break the law and break my oath by using the Justice Department to go after political enemies like this is the Soviet Union or something. So they quit. Trump caused people to quit. They're now not able to prosecute actual criminals, and the cases are getting thrown out of court because under the American system of law, you've got to prosecute a case within a certain period of time or it gets thrown out because it's not fair. Listen to this. Tavon Timberlake has an extensive criminal history starting with drug possession at age 18, then five separate convictions for being a felon in possession of a gun, followed by drug dealing and escape. In previous convictions, he was noted as a member of the Gangster Disciples street gang. But Timberlake will not stand trial for his latest charge, another felon in possession of a gun charge, after federal judge Paul Magnuson dismissed the case. The judge noted that the government failed to comply with deadlines and failed to bring Timberlake to trial on time. It's even worse than that. The case was dismissed with prejudice. When it's dismissed with prejudice, my hair is like doing things. When it's dismissed with prejudice, it means they can't come after you again. So the case is gone. It's dead. It can never come back. These people have gang members or accused. It's driving me nuts. I've got this like image of like one little hair in my head, but I'll stop looking at it. It's perfectly aligned that I see it, and it's like sticking out like this. This guy who's like accused gang member or real gang member, who's got a rap sheet like nobody's business, is getting off because Trump forced all these people to quit the Justice Department. Remember what I say. This guy's actions have consequences. All the lies, all the politicization, all the crimes he commits, all the abuse in office, it has a real world impact. Criminals are now not going to prison. Violent criminals because of Donald Trump. I mean, this is a big deal. Larry Summers. Oh, this was interesting. Larry Summers, a Harvard University economist and the school's former president, Democrat, by the way, will resign from teaching at the end of the academic year, according to Harvard. The announcement comes after documents released by the Department of Justice show a close relationship between Summers and Jeffrey Epstein, long after Epstein was convicted of his sex crimes with a minor. Very interesting. Again, a Democrat is paying the price at Harvard. Republicans still have not paid a price. Donald Trump is not paying a price. His Commerce Secretary is not paying a price. All this is, by the way, all they're alleging against Larry Summers, not even alleging, they've got the evidence, is that he remained friends with Epstein after Epstein was convicted. Thank you, V. Marie. Which is horrible because Epstein was a pig. You don't stay friends with him after he's convicted of child sex crimes. But the point is, Larry Summers didn't do anything wrong legally, right? He didn't break any laws. He didn't abuse anybody. There's no allegation of that. He still had to quit because just the allegation that he remained friends with Epstein was enough to take him down. Donald Trump, there are literally allegations about him and 13-year-old girls. And his administration is hiding the paperwork. You know? I think that is... Oh, final point. Trump's Surgeon General. Surgeon General is like the top... I don't know what to call it. It's kind of the top doctor, but it's not of the administration. I've never understood what the Surgeon General is, because like the top health guy is really Kennedy, the goofball who runs Health and Human Services. Surgeon General has this health role as well, kind of a mouthpiece. It's a little confusing, but it's a top health mouthpiece job. She gets asked today, confirmation hearing before the Senate. Well, it's a doctor, but she's not the White House doctor, though. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of hard to explain. She's kind of a figurehead, right? For health in America. Thank you for the gift there, Dragon. She gets not interviewed. She's doing a congressional hearing today, right? For confirmation before the Senate. And they ask her a question about whether she would recommend mothers get measles vaccines for their children. Now, Kennedy is anti-measles vaccine. He's been trying to backtrack now. But he and his people have been like very scarily they're also not fans of the polio vaccine, which is crazy, but measles as well, they're not fans, right? So she gets asked, would you recommend that mothers get the measles vaccine? Now, this is not rocket science, okay? This is not rocket science that you get the measles vaccine. She says, I'm not an individual's doctor, and every individual needs to talk to their doctor before putting medication in their body. She couldn't even answer the question and say, yes, mothers should get the measles vaccine. Couldn't even say it. That's how bad these people are. I mean, this is who these guys are. Again, elections have consequences, except now we've got I'm relaxing now. All right, so let's hang out and relax. That's it for the show. Well, as I always say, that's it for the show, but I'm still here. That's it for the scripted. I go through and I collect news stories throughout the day. That's it for my news story part of the show. Now we hang out and talk. I am happy to talk about whatever you want, topics you want to bring up, whatever. So whatever you like. NVIDIA did well. Woo, woo, woo. NVIDIA's latest numbers. Actually, this is interesting beyond investments. NVIDIA's profits, every quarter companies announce their public companies announce their profits. They did very well. They beat expectations. And it is not snowing out. No, it's nice in DC. It's 49 degrees here. They were, you're right though. It does look that way. Maybe it might be heat on the window or something else. It definitely is looking pixelated. NVIDIA, there was concern that, or NVIDIA, I call it NVIDIA, there's concern, or NVIDIA? Is it NVIDIA? I never pronounce it correctly. There was concern that the AI market was crashing, that it was like a bubble that was too big and it was going to come down and all this kind of stuff. Thank you, Flower Lady. And NVIDIA, okay, someday I'll get that right. I like NVIDIA because it sounds like Nivea. NVIDIA. There was concern that the AI chip market was overblown. People were investing the AI craze has made people create a bubble that was going to burst. NVIDIA did great. It did much better than expected. It means, at least for now, the AI craze continues. People still think I don't want to say it's a good investment, but you get my point, right? It was, they thought things were going to go bad today, and NVIDIA broke all records again. So NVIDIA. It's going to be hard for me to say NVIDIA. And I invest, so I was happy there too. Full disclosure on that one. So it's like one of the only two stocks I've invested in that did well over these years. That and Broadcom. We were talking about this last night. That and Broadcom. Everything else, but they did very well. Now I'm wishing I'd invested a ton more. Literally, it's the only one that you can sit there and go. My mom had that with IBM. She bought IBM and bought it like 30 years ago, and it went up 20 times. And at the time, my dad was like, it's your money. And she's like, you're right, it's my money. So mom put a certain amount of money into IBM and forgot about it, and it went up 20 times, which is very cool. Mine is up like 10 times now, I think, or 9 or 10 times, which is really good. Again, I wish I put a hell of a lot more. But what do you do? Yeah, I made her sell it because I was like, okay, it was worse than this. It wasn't just up 20 times. It was a quarter of their portfolio. And I was like, okay, it's a quarter of your portfolio. It's time for you to declare victory. And because we're going to get into investment stuff again. One of the things you want to be careful with is when one stock becomes too much of your portfolio, of your total wealth. If that stock goes south, if the company goes bankrupt or some catastrophe, you lose a quarter of all your money. That's, unless you're super rich, that's pretty bad, right? So there's ways of selling it. In mom's case, I was able to sell it up to a certain point. Your capital gains are free. If your income's low enough, and for couples it's easier, your capital gains could be free on 10,000 or 15,000 of capital gains. It's complicated, but I was able to do it. So I was able to every year sold a certain amount, and it worked. Anyway, it's not easy, but it worked. ASML. I haven't invested in any other chip makers. No, I was gonna, but I didn't. I was looking at Taiwan, and then I got worried about China invading Taiwan. I just for whatever reason, at the time, NVIDIA, I just had this feeling. I talked to my cousin about it too, I think. I didn't talk to him. NVIDIA was just my own investment. And then he had mentioned Broadcom a few years ago, and I invested in Broadcom, which has done well too. But who knows? There's no guarantee with this stuff. I don't mean to talk. We're going to start talking stocks and stuff again. But who knows? I am not a big fan of buying stocks. I think it's too much of a gamble. And like I said, I did well on these two and piss poor on everything else, So anyway, what else? Oh, pinned a comment. Oh, thank you. Please like and follow. Exactly. Do follow. I always forget this on TikTok. Do like and follow. Always forget to ask you guys that. Sasha is doing very well, actually. Today, for the first time, she did not limp. This is the first time since Christmas. She's the first time she hasn't limped. And she's been like getting better. But today we did a walk around the block, which we haven't done that in 2 months, practically, almost 2 months. And so the vet got back to me and said her blood test was good. So the vet said we can just keep on the medicine, or because she's on Rimadyl, if you're a pet person, Rimadyl is an NSAID. But like us, she's a senior, so you want to be careful with giving seniors NSAIDs. They can get intestinal problems or GI problems. So anyway, the vet said you can keep her on it indefinitely, or you can start to wean her off and see how she does. So I said, you know what? Let's give it another week or two. And then if she's still good, then maybe I'll take it off and we'll see. No, I'm surprised because her walking, she's 16, you have to kind of come to terms with someday she's not going to be here. But it was still very hard to see her walk because at one point, both of her back legs were limping. And you're like, oh my God, I can't even talk about it. I'm going to cry. It's just like, oh my God, it's horrible if it's your pet, it's not a fun thing it's like having a kid. I don't know how by the way, I don't know how parents do, like how our parents did this. How did you deal with like having a baby have to go to the hospital? Your kids at all, let alone before they were able to talk. Because you're looking and you can tell something's wrong. You don't know what's wrong. You can't get her to tell you what hurts and where. Oh my God, you feel so helpless. And it got me thinking of like our parents with us or any of you that have kids. It's bad enough with kids, but like if the kid can't even talk, right? You're like, oh my God, it's got to kill you. Oh, anyway, yeah. I know she's my mascot. Because God knows we went to the hospital enough. We went to the hospital once, 1960s. Mom was lucky it was the 1960s. She'd probably be arrested today. We went to the hospital once. Within 3 weeks, my brother went through a window, was chasing my sister, and in the basement of the house, we had like the back door in the basement, but it was a back door that exits and goes up some steps, and the back door was a glass screen door. But it was glass back then, and he thought the door was on, and the door was always unlocked. It wouldn't shut all the way, so you would just push it, and it would open. So he's chasing my sister, and he pushes the door. It's locked. Oh, thank you, Red. I love that gift. I think the wings are so cool. Runs and pushes the glass, and it smashes, and he goes through the glass. Oh, imagine! And I'm guessing he was 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old. Like not that old, and he's got broken glass all over him. Goes to the emergency room. My mom, then like a week later, and I remember this too, and again, I must have been 4 years old. I had two things. We had a basketball, like some kind of a basketball, and we had little train tracks, but they were plastic train tracks. It was a cool toy where you put the train tracks together, but it was plastic, right? Almost like a Lego, but not Legos. And I remember I had the train track there, and I was balancing the basketball on the train track and thought, hey, could I balance on the basketball? Thank you, Annie. I was 4. So I tried on one foot to balance on the basketball, and of course I fell, hit my head and of course it's a basement, so it's like cement basement. Hit my head in the cement basement. I'm bleeding, I need stitches. We go back to the hospital. 3rd week, my sister's at school. They're playing softball. She's, I think, the catcher. And the person swings the bat and it hits her in the head. Bleeding, has to go to the hospital. 3 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row. And she said by the third time, it's like a town of, I don't even know. It was Oak Lawn. I don't know. Ashley, you know, probably 40,000 people or something, I'm guessing. And so they knew who Mom was at the emergency room, but the third time in 3 weeks. And the lady's like, you again? Thank God it was like 1968. Because, you know, exactly, Christ Hospital. That's where I was born, Christ Hospital. You know, it was 1968 or 69. So, you know, they trusted her. Today, it would be like, she's brought in 3 children in 3 weeks, with each of with mysterious, you know, oh my God. But that cracked me up. I was like, oh, I mean, in retrospect, oh man, very scary stuff. Anyway, what else, guys? Oh, excuse me. I mean, I am going to yawn at you today. A fast pass, exactly, like the pass that you use on the toll to come through. Just lady, it'll just charge you automatically when you come through. Oh, that's funny. AMD, Starry Steph, and I did see what you wrote. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, comments are working on YouTube. Gunther says, I haven't seen any new ones since the very beginning of the show. Yeah, I'm seeing the comments. Up, thank you, Just Max. Is that a goat or a wig? I can't remember anymore. I can't see my, I don't have my thing up here on my screen. It's a goat? All right, which goat would you like? We've got regular goat, Halloween goat, Christmas goat. Doesn't make a different noise, but it's cool. We have large goat, and then we have yodeling pickle, which is a little different. It was not free healthcare back then. Oh, God, no. No. We never had free healthcare in America. Are you kidding? No. I can do the wig. I don't know who it was. Was it Angeline? I didn't see who it was, though. It was just Max. So Max has got to be the one that says which one he wants. I always have to look back and look again to see. Oh, it was you. Yeah, it was you. Yeah. So which one would you like? You have a choice. Oh my God. Large goat? Okay. Yeah, we haven't done large goat in a while. Large goat makes the same sound, but he's unique in his own way. He has a bell, but he also screams like the other goats. One more time for the large goat. Thank you, Max. Appreciate that. Very nice of you. Anyway, YouTube was broken for a lot of people today, only allowing some people to comment emojis, says Tup over on Twitch. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I don't know. That's very strange. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, on my end, I'm seeing comments like Savage just posted a goat emoji, so I can see that Savage did that over on YouTube. I don't know, Gunther. Maybe it's just screwing up for people. Oh, Jens gave you the finger, so he saw my message. Okay. That's funny. All right. Anyway. Oh, boy. Exactly. Oh, sorry, guys. Yawning. Kind-hearted. I'm trying to see, though. I'm seeing a lot of the same people, though. I don't know. I mean, I do see YouTube messages, though, so I don't know. I don't know how many people it is. Don't know. Twitch, we just got a couple of you. Or one. It says one of you, but 2 of you just commented, I thought, on Twitch. Substack. We do have a lot of Substack people I'm glad to see. Glad to see you guys turning out. Very nice. Anyway. YouTube isn't working in the USA. Well, I mean, we've got people, or is it not? Actually, is anybody on YouTube? YouTube isn't working for Paula. Oh, YouTube is having problems. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's actually very interesting. But Paula, you're Paula who's in, are you Paula who's in England or not? Paula on Facebook right now. I never know whether, like, are you that Paula? Are you London Paula? Interesting. Yeah, Paula says YouTube isn't working for her. Interesting. Wow. Except, like I said, I don't know. Yeah, no, this is London Paula who's having problems with YouTube. Her comments are not showing up. Now, I will tell you the comments that I've seen in the last couple of minutes. I've got Mike. Paula, I do have your comment. Here, I will show you. See, I got this comment from Paula 2 minutes ago. You guys can't see it. I'm on YouTube and Substack and stuff at the same time I talk to you guys, just so you know. See, Paula, I've got that one from you. I've got Mike. I've got, it's only showing the goats as a different thing. I've got kind-hearted, couple ones. I've got Annie with a very generous gift. Jens. So anyway, I've got several of you guys. I'm just showing you like the most recent ones here. Praxis, Richard. Now we're back to, oh, you're right. I've only got like 10 comments on YouTube in the last hour. You're right. This one's from an hour ago. Guys, I didn't, maybe not, okay, maybe not 10. Maybe it's 15, but it's not that many. Interesting. Paula said she commented about her daughter. Okay, so there is something going on. Well, you know what? Let's try this. Try to comment on, sorry, we're boring TikTok. Try to comment on YouTube right now, if you're on YouTube. Did I see the news about the 4 shot dead on the U.S. registered speedboat? Yes, Jens, we were talking about that. I'm a little suspicious. So 4 people were shot dead in Cuban waters, private boat. I'm a little suspicious as to whether it was a CIA mission or what it was. You know? Okay, WC, Savage, Heel, Lauren. We are getting several, though. I don't know, Richard. Yeah, that's very weird. Paula, I see your comment, Paula. Yeah. Yeah, your comment's coming through now. Natasha, I mean, there's a number of you guys. Yeah, Richard, maybe it was filtering stuff. Kind-hearted, yours is there. Lauren, Heel. Sorry, we're scaring away the TikTokers. Savage, WC, Blue. Yeah, see, and then Paula, I got several from you. I don't know, guys. See, now you guys are showing. Now it seems to be showing. DCM, Mama, a number of you guys. Yeah, Natasha, Paula. Yeah, I don't know. Yep. See? So a number of you guys are showing now. I don't know. Weird. Okay, I don't know. Very strange. Maybe YouTube either was having problems or still is for some people. Oh, thank you, Mouse Staffer. Five gift memberships. Excellent. Now, I don't know, because I'm using this through StreamYard, I don't know whether it shows me the gift memberships, who gets them on my end. Like on your end, maybe it says it. On my end, I'm not seeing who's receiving them. But that means Mouse Staffer is giving you gift memberships for a month on YouTube, which means you get some special emojis, but you can join our Saturday show, Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. We hang out, we talk, it's fun. Stefan says his comments are not coming through. I don't know, guys. Yeah, something's going on with YouTube. I don't know what. Cloudflare has been having issues. That certainly could be. That certainly could be. You know, remember, guys, on YouTube, I mean, on TikTok, these guys are scammers. Obviously, you know that, but just be careful. You know, you don't want to deal with the. I got a fairy gift? Oh, hang on. Oh, I did. Thank you, Succeed. Sorry, I was looking at the other. I was still looking at this stuff going on. Thank you. That was the fairy. That gives me fairy wings. It's really cool. It's a really cool gift. Yeah. Multiple outages. Oh, interesting. No, I appreciate that. Thank you, Succeed. So Down Detector does say multiple outages for YouTube. Interesting. Well, actually, that's true. You guys, I forgot about that. Okay, I'm being an idiot. Oh, thank you. Oh, Russell, you did it too. Thank you, Russell. And thank you, Joy, yours as well. Thank you, guys. I forgot about that. The comments are already being streamed on the screen on YouTube. So as soon as you comment, you'll be able to see them. Yeah, I forgot about that. Right. So like the last one up is Tree Robotize from a minute ago. So when you guys comment on YouTube, at least, well, Facebook too, you'll be able to actually Twitch, Substack, I have to read you separately. Discord, I have to read you separately. Anyway, yeah, it's I think the wings are a really cool gift because it does. The problem is you almost have to back up because it's this whole big thing. It's very cool. They're very cool. Yeah, anyway, YouTube's having issues tonight. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. Anyway. Maybe, well, again, hopefully tomorrow. But that's funny too. Stefan says the YouTube audio has been clear. I mean, who knows? You know, we had so many problems with the audio a couple days ago. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you guys will know. And now, keep in mind, the comments you're seeing on the screen, not TikTok. The other guys are coming from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So keep in mind when you look at those comments that the little icon in front tells you where, for example, these are Facebook right now from Richard Paula and who is the other one? And Paula again. You can tell by the icon in front is blue versus YouTube's where the icon in front is red. See, it's a YouTube thing, right? So that's how you know. News from Vlad? No, but my nephew works with him all the time, so Vlad's okay. We know Vlad's okay. I think Vlad is just really busy working and taking care of his family, so he's kind of, I mean, still helping what he can, but, you know, I'm intentionally not bothering Vlad. Stefan, let's talk later. The Cuba boat thing I talked about earlier, basically, it sounds to me like it could be CIA, but it also could be private Miami Cubans going to run a mission to get people out of Cuba. That's entirely possible. Could also be CIA. Yeah. Clinton hearing is coming up. I don't know when. You know? Oui, je parle français. Et toi, Angélique? Ou vous? Peut-être vous êtes un vous. Je dois vous voyez. J'aime pas trop vous voyez, mais je peux faire s'il faut. But yes, I do speak French. Are you francophone with the name Angélique? I'm assuming you are. If so, where are you from? Oh, Belge. Ah, cool. Je connais pas trop bien la Belgique, mais j'ai visité. Actually, j'ai passé un très bon temps, très bon temps, chez des amis qui vivaient à Bruxelles. Bruxelles, c'est OK. Le centre vieux de la ville, j'aimais bien. Mais on est allé à Ghent. Oh, j'aimais Ghent. Oh, c'était fantastique. Ghent, we went to the town of Ghent in Belgium is wonderful. It's Belgium, right? It's not Holland. It's Belgium. Ghent. It's this wonderful town. I went and I just found it. The waffles. Oh my God, the waffles. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It reminded me a little bit of Amsterdam with the canals and the houses right on the canals. It's beautiful. People are lovely. The waffles are. I had never had Belgian waffles before. I always thought Belgian waffles were waffles, right? I mean, I figured they were waffles. I didn't know what. I never had Belgian waffles. Oh my God. My friends went to some jazz festival that was happening or something, and I'm not a jazz fan. I'm not a music fan anyway. I mean, not to go to music shows. So I said, go watch your music for an hour or hour and a half. I'll go walk around. I said, I want to go see the city anyway. And there was a festival happening. It was some like Fête de la Musique kind of thing in Ghent that weekend. Some famous festival you guys have. It's Ghent, yeah. It's some famous festival you guys have that's like it may not just be music, but they had music. They had the guys walking around in their red outfits or whatever they are, the kind of group of 6 or 7 that are very famous, playing music and stuff. And so I go to this town square, and I'm getting a little hungry, and somebody's selling Belgian waffles. I said, okay. And I went up, and I'm looking to how everybody else is doing it. And they're like, oh, with chocolate? I was like, and I'm like, oh, because I'm thinking, I wasn't sure how they served it, like a crepe or something, right? So he said, with chocolate? I said, oh, chocolate works. And he said, how about with cream? And I said, oh, yes, with cream. This thing was warm and fresh. It tasted like a big, warm, gooey chocolate chip cookie. It did not taste like, you're thinking a warm waffle with chocolate and cream would be nice, right? It'd be a waffle with chocolate and cream. This was a warm chocolate chip cookie taste to it. It was the most amazing thing you'd ever eat. I was like, how did I get to be this age? This was, okay, maybe 10 years ago. I'm like, how did I get to be this age and never realize what a Belgian waffle actually was? The town of Ghent was lovely. I took all these photos. I was doing my blog at that point. My blog is pretty well known, or was pretty big in America. And I was doing my blog at that point. So I took a lot of photos, and I did a photo essay. Chocolat délicieux aussi. Chocolat délicieux, c'est quoi? Oh, c'est chocolat délicieux. C'est-à-dire, le chocolat est délicieux ou le chocolat délicieux est un plat particulier? The I took pictures of the town and I wrote a little photo essay about my trip to Ghent, about how lovely it was. One of the local papers picked up my photo essay and did a story. A local Ghent paper did a story about the famous American blogger fell in love with Ghent, and they took some of my photos and quoted me. It was, and then the best part, I had hundreds of people from Ghent going at my Facebook page and thanking me for writing the story about Ghent. It was the cutest thing that has ever happened in my life. Belgian chocolate in general I know is good. It was the cutest freaking I've never had this happen in my life. Hundreds of people from a small town thanking me for liking their town. It was wonder. It made me want to move there. I know somebody who moved there for a while. He said, "Oh, I moved there. It was wonderful." I just really liked it. It was a neat, like in another life, that would have been a town I could see moving to for a while, just because people were. It's beautiful. Everything. The whole town was just beautiful, and people were really nice. Now it's Dutch or Flemish or whatever you guys say, Flamand or whatever, which I speak French, so that's a downside. I think it's Dutch. Yeah, I prefer if you speak French because I like to speak my French, but nonetheless, it was Now people say, my friends were saying, "Oh my God, if you like Ghent, you need to go to, is it Bruges? I'm forgetting what's the two other towns." There's like two other towns they said that are very old that I had to visit. If I thought Ghent was cool, they said you've got to go to the other two. Maybe it was Bruges and another one. I think. Somebody must know. Yep, Bruges, and what was the other one? I think there was a second one. Maybe it is Bruges. Maybe Bruges is the big one then. Yeah. Yeah, it is Bruges. Yeah, my friends were like, "Oh my God, you got to go there." Well, and the thing is, like, I will say that, like, as an American, Belgium, it's not the top of the list. I mean, for Americans, you think France, you think Italy, right? You think England, you think Germany. I don't think Germany's the top of the list either, actually. Greece, getting there. Greece is farther. But Belgium, we don't talk about going to Belgium. We just don't. And like I said, Ghent was amazing. And Bruges, I can only imagine from what people have said about Bruges. Bruges is not Brussels. Bruges is Belgium. It's a town in Belgium. Bruxelles is Brussels. Yeah. Belgium isn't a country? Belgium is a country. I mean, I think Americans, but the thing is, it's a small country so that we don't. Okay, Belgium is never in the news here. That's one of the problems. It's just never in the news, ever. I mean, I think, didn't you guys have you had some crisis where you did too. Holland, we call it Holland. The Netherlands had a crisis of trying to pick a leader, but you did too, maybe 10 years ago, or when was it? Didn't Belgium have some horrible crisis where you couldn't pick a leader or something? There was something weird going on like that. I seem to remember. I think so. But people here don't know Belgium. No. But also, it's not France. It's not England. It's not Italy. Those are the three big, kind of places we go. Paris, Rome, London, Yeah, that's true. Fabian says maybe it's a good thing we don't think of going there. Well, first of all, you don't get ruined. You get enough tourism anyway, Yeah, 2 years without a government. I was going to say, I remember there was some crisis of not having a government and trying to put together the coalitions or whatever it was. And then the Netherlands had a similar problem a couple years ago, but not as bad, I think. I like Brussels. They lived in Brussels because they were working for NATO. So they were there for like 3 years and loved it. They had a wonderful apartment. Oh my God. They had a wonderful apartment and it wasn't that expensive. I remember they had almost a top floor apartment near the big park that's by the EU. There's like the EU a block away from the park and there's an arch. They were right there on the park. Top floor, huge balcony, corner apartment. And I mean, this apartment, oh my God, the size of this apartment. And they were paying I think they said maybe $2,300 a month, maybe, for this apartment. I mean, it was nothing for, this was like a 5-bedroom apartment. And the living room and dining room were enormous, balconies on all sides. Oh! And the balcony just kept wrapping around the entire apartment. Oh my God. Oh, absolutely amazing. Yeah. But no, so I like Brussels, but I really like Ghent. Really like Ghent. And like I said, the waffles, oh my God. I will never, I'm forgetting, what's the waffle called in French? I'm forgetting now. What was it again? Gunther or somebody else, or Angelique. What do we call a Belgian waffle in French? I'm spacing out now. Yes, if Belgium is in Germany, people do that, sadly. Gaufre. Gaufre. Okay. No, they're gaufre. A crepe is different because the crepe is a super thin pancake, but paper thin is a crepe. They're paper thin, and then you'd put something inside and wrap them up like you might an omelet, but the crepes are paper thin. A waffle, a gaufre is literally a waffle. It's a crepe is pancake thin batter, literally the thickness of a not pancake, I'm sorry, the thickness of a piece of paper is what a crepe is. Yeah, gaufre. Okay. Yeah, anyway, like I said, nobody had told me about, all these years, nobody had told me about Belgian waffles. I mean, I've heard of them, but I figured it was a waffle, because American waffles are like a breakfast food. They're sweet, but they're more hearty. I don't know how to describe them. They're just kind of a cooked dough with a syrup, and they're good. They're very good. But this thing in Belgium tasted like a chocolate chip cookie. Yes, there were 2 different kinds, I was told, too. Yeah, Bruxelles and Liège. The kind I'm describing, I don't know which kind. Now, I don't know in Ghent whether there's only one kind. Like in Ghent, would it have only been one specific kind? Actually, that's good to know, so I get the right one next time. But the one I got tasted like an American cookie. Oh, my God. Oh, Stroop waffles, that's a whole other thing. Stroop waffles are great, too. Yeah. Yeah, that's a different thing. I know, we do get into our food discussions occasionally here, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, no, this was insane. The Brussels one is in Ghent. Okay, good to know. I mean, no, this literally, I ate it and went, this is a freaking chocolate chip cookie. But imagine a thick chocolate chip cookie that's warm and gooey with chocolate oozing on it and whipped cream. Oh, I mean, even telling you now, I'm like, oh my God, I want this thing. Yeah, Stroop waffles are a really cool thing from Holland, the Netherlands, that are really neat too. They're kind of it's kind of a thin, hard cookie. They're not though, with caramel inside, but it's not. Very good though, very sweet, but they're good. Waffle House near you guys. Oh, but are they American waffles, Paula? I'm guessing if it's Waffle House, they're American waffles. Yeah. Yeah, Stroop waffles are like I said, it's like a very thin, hard cookie. Yes, I did put one on the coffee mug. My friend Mark, Bicycle Mark, if anybody by chance knows, he's a podcaster among other things, a very good friend of mine. Mark had said to put it on top of coffee or tea, and you let the coffee warm it, and then you eat it. Yeah, it's a caramel cookie, but it's, for an American, it's very different though. It is a caramel cookie, but it's not a cookie. I don't know what else to call it. For us here, it would be, it's very unique. It's very good. It was very good. Waffle House was created by Belgians? I didn't know that. That's funny. Oh, that's very funny. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, Belgium. I'm sure I've had Belgian chocolate. I mean, I know I've had Belgian chocolate, of course. I can't recall now. You know what I mean? Actually, my favorite French chocolate. I don't know if it's really Belgian, though. My favorite French chocolate is Jeff de Bruges. It's a wonderful, there's so many different chocolatiers, like chocolate makers or chocolate sellers in Paris. So there's many, and people love them. My personal favorite, this is 10 years ago. When I go back, I need to see. My personal favorite was Jeff de Bruges. Jeff of Bruges. Oh, such a good, oh my God. And I would buy them as gifts for people too, because it makes a beautiful little box and you can pick which goes in there. Oh my God. Amazing. Absolutely. But I don't know if Jeff de Bruges is actually a Belgian chocolate or whether that's the name. Is it false? It's French. That's what I was wondering. It's French, huh? Interesting. Okay, sorry. It's very good though. It's good publicity for the Belgians anyway, but it's fake, huh? No, Sasha's being very good. Yeah, she's asleep on the couch. No, she's been drinking. She's still drinking a lot of water, but she's drinking less water. I mean, it worries me a little bit because she's drinking less water than she has her entire life. She's now drinking a normal amount of water almost, which she never did. She always drank too much water. So she isn't needing to go out during the show as much or needing water during the show is what she was doing. She would just want water. So no, she's doing fine. She's just, being good. So I'm like, knock on wood. You're right though. It is a little weird. Like we had the whole show and she didn't bother me. No, if anything, she's doing well. Like I said, she's walking well. So, thank you, Terry. Speak of dogs. Yes, it is time for her treat though. She's asleep. But the thing is, we walked her on the block today and she hasn't done that in almost 2 months. So we walked her on the block and I think that tired her a little bit because when she was young, we would walk a mile and back and she'd lay down and still want to play half an hour later. But now, she's older. She's old now, but also because her leg was bothering her, we weren't walking much at all the last month or 6 weeks. So today we walked her on the block and she did not, let's see how she does, but she didn't limp at all. And I was like, so that's good. So we'll see. Like I said, I've got her on the Rimadyl. I'm just a little nervous because the vet said it's up to you. You can keep her on it long term, or you can take her off and see how she does. I'm just a little worried because it's like with people, NSAIDs can cause problems. They can cause bleeding and stuff. So you want to be careful. So anyway, I'm going to give her another week or two because I told the vet, I said, okay, then I'm going to give her a week or two. Her blood was fine. I said I'm going to give her a week or two of the NSAID just to make sure how she's walking. Because now I was suspicious from the beginning that she had an injury, that it wasn't, she's got lots of problems because she's old, but I thought something went wrong, like she hurt her back or she did something where basically an anti-inflammatory might help. And I think it did. I'm also using the 3-letter tincture that we probably shouldn't talk about on TikTok. And that may be helping as well. But so if in the next week or so she's not limping, then I might stop the Rimadyl, which is the NSAID, and just see how she's doing. And then save it for next time. So it's some brand that I don't have it. Well, I do have it handy, actually. I did a lot of research on this. I think it is a pet one, but actually I used ChatGPT to help me. It fit a lot of the right categories, Lazarus Naturals, but it fit a lot of the right categories of testing and everything to try to make sure it's real. You know what I mean? Because I don't like, it's like with using what do you call them? People get vitamins and homeopathic stuff or whatever. I worry about some of that stuff not being regulated, like what's really in it. Like a lot of the studies have shown, like a lot of the Chinese herbs and stuff have got poison chemicals and all sorts of crappy stuff, So this one at least passed a lot of the right tests to be. There was no real Ukraine news today. I did look, BC. There wasn't really any news today. The only Ukraine news that was interesting today was Trump was just finishing up a phone call with Zelensky. So God knows what that was about. That was the only Ukraine news today that was I think interesting and worrisome potentially, right? So anyway, but yeah, so I think the dog is tired from her walk around the block. So, trust me, she'll be up in an hour. Like last night, like she went late into the like till 10 o'clock whining at me. She kept wanting to play, and I was like, I think she's feeling better. Because now she wants to play more. Yeah, can I start over? Well, you're on YouTube, Mustard. You can watch from the beginning. Just pretend it's live. I love it. Like on Substack, I've been getting people occasionally who are thinking it's live when they watch it later. And they're like, oh, hey. It's very, because somebody said hi the other day, so I wrote hi back later when I saw it. I was like, okay, hi. It was very funny. Um, anyway, Oop. Does it show me? It doesn't actually show me. I was looking on Substack, but it doesn't actually show me who is live on Substack. I was just kind of curious looking at this. No, it does not. Okay, I thought it would be fun to see. I can see how many, which is nice. 18, which is very cool. If there's still 18 of you there, that's very cool. Interesting. All right. Well, I'm going to go, guys. It's 7:30 here. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. The Zelensky thing, yeah. All right, guys, I think we're going to go. It's 7:30. I try to sort of end after an hour, after an hour 15. It's been an hour and a half. My French is very good. It's a little rusty tonight. And also, you know, when I'm on in front of all of you, then I get more nervous. I mean, je parle français très bien parce que j'ai passé un an à Paris pour apprendre le français quand j'étais jeune à l'école. Et bon, après ça, j'ai rentré beaucoup de fois. Mais ça fait longtemps que je parle pas. So and when I'm in front of you guys, I get more nervous. So my French is excellent, but in front of you, it gets like nervous tight. So yes, but thank you for saying that, Angelique. No, I get a little embarrassed because it's not what it should be when I'm here. But also, it's been 10 years. I haven't been back to Paris in 10 years, so I have to go back. No, merci bien. C'est sympa. No, I'll be going back. I'm trying to, again, because of the dog, too, I'm not going anywhere until Sasha's gone because she's old enough now that I don't trust anybody watching her. But, you know, if she's around for 4 years, I'm in trouble because I'm stuck at home. I doubt she'll be around for 4 years. Oh, nice, Paula. Yeah, I mean, Duolingo is good for French, and Duolingo, I think, is good for brushing up. I have a problem where Duolingo is like my French and even my Italian is at a certain level. My French, especially, Duolingo doesn't really help. It's a little too. It gives me too many lessons that are too easy. Like I can't get the right level. Italian, a little more. Italian, I'm good in Italian, but I still could learn a lot more, so Duolingo is good for it. Greek, it's very good because my Greek is less. But depending on your level, like if your language is good, Duolingo, I think, like I'm fluent in French, but I wanted to have more exercises to remind me of some grammar and some vocabulary. Duolingo, way too easy. They need to sort of. They almost need to figure out maybe it's not meant for people like me, but they need to figure it out where you can come and say, my French is very good, test me, and make it challenging for me, right? You know. Yeah, Italian, I mean, you know, also if you know French, I was saying Italian's easier if you know French. If you know French and Spanish, Italian is much easier, I find. Appelle-toi si je veux pratiquer. Mais André, t'es français. Oh, André et Chaise. T'es canadien alors. Tous les deux. C'est un couple alors, je crois. Hein? Chase, or Chaz, or Chase? Chaz? Chaz? Comme on dit. Alors, Montréal ou quoi? Au Québec? French is definitely my best language after English. No, it's better. It's, oh, ton chien. I thought Chase was like his boyfriend or something. He said, no, Chase is my dog. It says Andre and Chase as the name. That's funny. Yeah, no, French is my best. Spanish is second best. I've studied Spanish forever, but I lived in France. So my Spanish is excellent, but I probably know more in French, I think. My Spanish is very good. I mean, my Spanish is fluent too, but I think French is better than Spanish, then Italian. Italian is still, I would say, fluent, though it's a different level of fluency. And then Greek, which is not fluent. My Greek is okay, you know. And I love languages, but it's fun. I haven't been able to practice them a lot lately, so I want to start traveling more, get my Greek passport, move to Europe, maybe. We'll see. Still waiting. I could find out in the next. If I'm lucky, I could find out in the next week or two. What do you speak, Angelique? You know, I could find out in the next week or two if I'm lucky. I don't. You know, saying languages are similar. Look, I'll say this: it's hard to say language to language, but I already spoke French and Spanish. Italian was easy to learn. Very easy. I've got to come to England anyway because I haven't seen friends in London in forever. So I will be coming by London at some point too. But knowing Spanish and French made Italian very easily. For me, Italian bridged the gap between Spanish and French. I find a lot of the words very Spanish, a lot of the words very French. For me, the grammar is very French, a little bit of Spanish, but a lot of French. Like j'ai parlé, ho parlato. It's the same kind of conjugation in a sense. Past tense and avoir, to have. It's the construction, but a lot of the words are Spanish and French. Again, it depends. I'd have to think, but it depends though, because prendere, no? Prendere, sì, in Italiano. I think like to take. I think it's prendere. I'm forgetting now. Would be prendre in French. I'm going to get it wrong by telling you this. But there's other words. There's other words that in Italian are kind of more Spanish words. It just depends. I don't know. But Greek is hard because Greek is unique. Although there's a lot of words in English that come from Greek, it's still not. Our language here is Latin. We have a lot of, like you guys, but we have a lot of German, we have a lot of Scandinavian, we have a lot of Greek, right? We've got a lot of that, but I still think Latin is probably the main influence. Probably. Actually, we could ask, in terms of like the percentage influence is the interesting question. That's a good question, actually. I want you to put on a linguistic expert hat and tell me the English language, what percent of the words in English come from what language? Meaning, and do it in order. What percent come from Latin? What percent come from Greek? What percent come from like Scandinavian languages, from German? Kind of break it down for me, at least the top several in order, most to less most. How does that break down?
English is a bit of a patchwork, but we have some good estimates. The largest chunk, around 30 to 40%, comes from Latin, either directly or through French. French alone, thanks to the Norman conquest, accounts for roughly 25 to 30%. Oh. Germanic roots, Old English and Norse, make up about 25%. Greek gives us about 5%, often in scientific terms. Then there's a smaller percentage from other languages, Dutch, Italian, Spanish, and so forth, each contributing a smaller fraction. So, in rough order, Latin including French, Germanic, Greek, and then a wide variety of smaller influences.
Interesting. Now, sir, when you said Latin, though, you mentioned French. Were you saying Latin and French combined, or was French number 2 after Latin?
I meant them together. A lot of what we call Latin influence in English came via French, especially after the Norman conquest. So when you tally it up, Latin origin words, whether directly from Latin or filtered through French, form the largest chunk.
Ah, okay. So you're saying the Norman conquest, which I don't understand the history very well, but northern France kind of took southern England. It's very confusing to me, but I seem to recall that what happened was at one point with the development of the English language, Latin took over southern England, and then French took over as the language of the educated and whatever, right?
You're definitely in the ballpark. After the Norman conquest of 1066, Norman French, a language descended from Latin, became the language of the ruling class, law, and administration. Meanwhile, the common folk kept speaking Old English, which is Germanic. Over time, these blended. So yes, Latin came in via both direct influence from the Church or Old Roman influence, and then later via Norman French. That's why English feels so layered, and why the fancy words often sound Latin-y.
Right. That's something one thing that I noticed, I always laugh about this with the Brits, is the British will use words in English that are too fancy for Americans. And they're words that we will understand. Okay, if you're educated, you understand the words. But they're things that we would never say casually. Like, if I'm home with my family and I used words like that, it might sound a little snotty because it's like using fancy words instead of the normal words you'd use. And the words they use in England, though, are words that you'd use in French. That was ChatGPT. They're words that you would use in French. And I can't even think of the examples, but they're wonderful words that the Brits use, and I go, oh, that's really funny. I wouldn't say it, but it's a word we use, but it's a little too intelligent, and it's a French word. I don't know. I don't know if you're capable of finding some examples of these. I was just telling people that one of the things I enjoy about England English versus American English is I find that the English will often use a word, sometimes verbs, I think, especially, that basically are French verbs. They're verbs that we would understand here in America. We use the word, but it would almost be too fancy. Like it would be as if I'm putting on airs using a very, okay, like the word intelligent. If I were to say erudite, like a very erudite word, I would never use that word casually with my family back home having dinner in Chicago. I think it would be snotty. I find the Brits often use words that are snottier, more intelligent, and I speak French, and I find that they're French words. Can you think of some examples of what I'm thinking of?
I know exactly what you mean. British English sometimes sprinkles in words that feel a bit continental or refined. For example, they might say liaise instead of just coordinate, or envisage rather than imagine. You'll hear resume from résumer instead of continue, or culminate instead of just end up. They might convene a meeting, where in casual American speech we just get together. Words like investigate might feel a bit more formal than just look into. So yes, those Latinate, often French-derived verbs can feel a touch more polished.
Yeah, I'm not sure those are I mean, those are examples. I don't know if they're the best examples, but those are examples of it, where they're words that literally you know they're French words, basically. And we use them. I'm trying to think like, well, the thing is, I picked this up from French, and I picked up, I don't know if I still say it, but I would talk about people joining us. I'd say, oh, do you want to join us? And they were like, join you? And I was like, what? Because in French, you'd say, ouais, tu veux nous joindre? Like, do you want to come with? And I would say join, and for them, that was a little fancy. But that's not quite what I'm thinking of. It was, like I said, it was other words. I'll have to write these down. I need like a notebook just to write these things down when I hear them. But they're British words that they are American words, but they're a little too, like I said, like the word erudite for educated and intelligent. It's a little too high profile. Your repertoire? Yeah, I just can't think of what it would be. And the problem is they're not French words. They're English words that happen to have the exact same word in French. So it's not a French word like repertoire. It's not that. They're usually verbs. They're usually verbs, and they're verbs that are basically Latin. They're Latin verbs, basically. But it's a Latin verb that would be very intelligent to use in English. And it just, like I said, I might use it with my law school professor, right? I wouldn't use it at the grocery store because it would be snotty. Yeah, liaise, coordinate's a good one. Liaise is a French word. Coordinate is definitely possible. All right, Duck, that's funny. Yeah, anyway. I'll have to write, but I think it's the Latin. It is the French that came across, and it became like the language of the educated class after Latin, but it also is French Latin. And anyway, I'll have to write these things down because, like I said, I find them very interesting. Thank you, Zia. Anyway, yeah, Sasha's up now, so I'm gonna get going. Persnickety. Persnickety is a good word, but that's not French. I don't know what that came from. Commémorer. I didn't even know that's a French word. Commémorer. Oh, je savais pas du tout. Is that a French word? I didn't even know that. Commemorate. I would think of Italian. I don't know it in Italian, but it sounds like commemorare. But I don't know the word though. Commémorer. Interesting. Wow, I don't know that. Yeah. Interesting. All right. I'll see now she wants to play. Now she's awake. And she's like, play. Hi. Somebody's awake now. You were asking where she is. She's awake now, and she wants to play. All right. I'm going to go, guys. We've been on this has been a very long time. I don't want to ruin my voice by going too late. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I know I am still live. I didn't know we were getting into fun discussions on stuff, and you know how it goes forever. All right. Discord, I'm going to say good night. Then to the rest of you, and then TikTok. All right, Discord. The rest of you here, boom, 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 boom.